Was attacked by Cortric's dog.
And ma'am, was this intentional or how did this take place?
It was intentional to me.
And this appears to be a non-agreed order. So the state will proceed with taking testimonies from both parties. At this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the mother here in this matter. Ma'am, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Jasmine Williams Moore.
The name of the child or children that we're here in reference to,
Hayden Moore Miles.
and the name of the child's father.
Cortric Miles.
And are you requesting today that the court name him as the child's father per court order?
Yes.
Has there been any issues within the last 2 years relating to family violence between you and the other parties to this case?
Yes.
And when did this take place, ma'am?
About September of this year.
And could you explain to the court exactly what happened?
Was attacked by Cortric's dog. We were not talking to each other. So I am afraid of dogs, but he did manage to let his dog out on me. And so I got bit by the dog, went to the CPS, got involved in all of that.
And ma'am, was this intentional or how did this take place?
It was intentional to me.
And based off of that incident, are you requesting a finding of family violence today?
Yes.
And just to confirm, you stated that you did receive medical attention based off of this incident.
I did.
And did you contact the police based off of this incident as well?
They appeared at the ER.
All right. And you did say that CPS got involved in this matter as well, correct?
Correct.
And as it relates to the insurance, how is your child currently covered through insurance?
Through my employer.
And are you requesting that the child continue to receive insurance through your employer?
Yes.
And is this at a cost of $135 per month?
Yes.
And the state has used the non-custodial parent's income at $16.25 per hour at 40 hours a week to calculate support, and requesting that the father pays a total of $457 per month for child support. Are you in agreement to this amount?
Yes.
And are you and the other parties to this case currently living together?
No.
And were you and the other parties to this case previously living together?
Yes.
And when did you two stop living together?
After the incident that occurred in September.
All right. And being that the parties have recently separated and ceased living together, are you in agreement that there's been no request for retroactive support, only child support going forward?
Yes.
And based off of the prior alleged family violence, are you in agreement to changing the child at Walmart located on South Buckner for visitation purposes?
Yes.
And are you in agreement to the father having a standard visitation agreement?
Yes.
And again, based on the prior alleged family violence, are you in agreement to be named as the sole managing conservator for the child here in this matter?
Yes.
And do you have any additional information you'd like to offer to the court at this time?
No.
All right. And the child has primarily been residing with you for about how long, man?
Since September by myself, just managing.
Okay. Nothing further from this party. As this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the father here in this matter, Mr. Miles. Mr. Miles, would you please unmute yourself and state your name for the record?
Cortric Miles.
And Mr. Miles, you are the father of the child here in this matter, is that correct?
Yes.
And you and the other parties to this case were previously residing together, is that correct?
Yes.
However, you two are no longer residing together, is that correct?
Yes.
You understand that the other parties to this case has requested a finding of family violence based off of an incident that happened in September of this year?
Yes.
Could you explain to the court exactly what happened?
We were living together, and basically what happened, I was letting my dog out to use the restroom, and I grabbed my son and I told him that I told him, I just yelled out loud that I'm about to let King out. And Jazz was in the living room, and I told him that I was going to let him out. And that's when my son came running to me, because he usually runs to me, and we go let him out of the back room. So basically, once I said I was going to let him out, I don't know if Jazz heard me or whatever, but she usually gets up and, goes to another room or something. So I said it out loud. Like I said, I could have made sure that she was not in the room or whatever, or left the room. So I ended up letting my dog out, and he usually just runs to the back door, because that's where he goes to use the restroom. But I don't know. He must have seen Jazz in the living room, And my dog is an emotional support dog, so he's not an aggressive dog or no type of dog that just goes out and bite people. So I don't know if he must have seen Jazz, like I said, in the living room, and she must have just started screaming because, like she said, she's scared of dogs. So it wasn't nothing that I did intentional and nothing. So he
And
must
sir,
have just ran up to her, huh?
sir, how do you typically let the dog out? Do you just holler that the dog is being let out, or do you walk the dog out when you're letting the dog out on a daily basis?
Well, when I let the dog out, I just let him out the back room, and he just goes to the, go to the back door.
And
So it's
sir,
no, I don't put.
in that incident, sir, did you attempt to make sure the mother was safe prior to letting the dog out?
Yeah, like I said, I did not. I usually that's what I could have done better and make sure the coast was clear. But usually when I do say that, she'll leave the scene or go outside or something like that.
All right, sir.
But
Do
yeah,
you understand that based off of this prior incident, that the state is requesting that the mother be named as a sole managing conservator?
what does that mean?
That the mother will primarily make the decisions that are in the child's best interest?
Yes,
And sir, are you currently employed and making $16.25 per hour at 40 hours a week?
I am.
And sir, you have no additional children, is that correct?
No.
And sir, as it relates to the insurance, do you understand that the mother is carrying the insurance for the child through her employer?
Yes.
And so do you understand that the mother is requesting that the child remains on her insurance and that you reimburse her at the cost of $135 per month?
Yes.
And are you in agreement to
Sorry,
this?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you said it was 135 per month.
That's what was stated. Yeah,
I just sound like you said 4. Go on.
yes, Your Honor. And again, sir, are you in agreement to pay the $135 per month?
No.
Sir, is there any specific reason why you're not in agreement to pay the mother for the insurance that she's covering for your child?
Because I want to put him on my insurance with my job.
What is the cost of your insurance through your job, sir?
I'm not sure yet.
So you don't know if the
I,
insurance is going to be higher or lower. However, you just don't want to pay the mother the 135. Is that correct?
all right.
All right. Moving forward, sir, as it relates to the child support, the state is requesting that you pay a total of $457 per month for child support based off of your income. Are you in agreement to this amount, sir?
No.
Could you explain to the court why you're not in agreement to paying the $457 based off of your income, sir?
Because I don't know why I'm paying that price.
And sir, as it relates to the visitation, do you understand that the state is requesting that you be awarded standard visitation, which means that you will have the child on the first, third, and fifth weekends of each month?
No.
What visitation are you requesting, sir?
Every day.
Sir, do you understand that your child has to go to school at some point?
Yes.
And sir, how far do you reside from the mother?
10 minutes.
And sir, do you understand that the child would primarily need to reside in one residence?
Yes.
And the child is currently residing with the mother, is that correct?
Um,
Can you explain what you mean by he's back and forth, sir?
he can be with me 3 nights, and then he can be with her 3 nights, 2 nights.
What is the current visitation schedule? That was my question.
What was the current visitation? Probably we split the week, 3 days, 3 nights with me, 3 days, 3 nights with her. She worked nights, so he's with me every night. So I work days, so she's with him in the middle during the beginning of the day. So I'm with him every night.
Right, sir. And do you understand that the state is requesting that the mother has a residency restriction to Dallas and the surrounding counties, which is where the child will reside at?
I'm sorry, what's your question?
So do you understand that the state is requesting a residency restriction, which means that the mother will reside with the child primarily in Dallas and the surrounding counties? So you're stating, sir, that you want the mother to be able to move where she wants to freely?
Yes, because she's in my grandmother's house right now. So yeah.
Okay, so just to understand again, so you're stating that the mother should be able to reside where she wants to, whether that be in Texas, New Mexico, Florida, wherever she decides to reside with the child. Is that your request, sir? Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, no further questions for this party, Your Honor. I would like to recall Ms. Moore briefly, Your Honor.
All right.
Ms.
Oh,
Moore, can I get you to unmute yourself?
yes.
Ms. Moore, as it relates to the current visitation schedule, when does the child live with the father?
Well, I work 3:30 to midnight, so he'll be with his dad when his dad gets off at like 1:30. So around 2:15 is when I go to work, and when I get off at midnight, I go pick my son up, and he comes stays with me. So he's with his dad until I get off. Um, so that's been a constant thing, and then I'm off Thursday, Friday, so he's with me the whole
So he
day.
spends a portion of the day, on the days that you work, he spends a few hours with the father every day. Is that correct,
Correct.
ma'am? And this happens on what days of the week?
So I work Saturday through Thursday or Wednesday because I'm off Thursday, Friday.
So on the days Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, those are the days that you working, and also on Saturday and Sunday. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And are you requesting that going forward that he be just given the standard visitation agreement?
Or could we still, because he's not in daycare, so I have no one to watch him during that time. If his dad agrees to still to do that, then we can. If not, then we could do the standard.
Okay. Do you have any additional information you'd like to offer to the court at this time?
No.
Nothing further from this party, Your Honor.
Let me make sure I'm Mr. I want both of you to unmute yourselves, please. I need to. All right. Now, do you understand what sole managing conservatorship is, Miss Moore?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
To make the permit, I'm the person to make the decisions in my child's best interest.
Do you think that Mr. Miles should have any input into making those decisions?
He can, but when it comes to making the decisions, I'm the one to basically make them by myself because
Why? Why should you be the only one to make those decisions?
I'm not saying I should, but he always comes back to me to make the decision. So,
Mr. Miles, do you believe that you and Miss Moore can make decisions together in the best interest of your child?
no.
Do I think we both can make the best decisions in the best interest of our child?
Yes, together. Can you make decisions together in the best interest of your child?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the dog. Obviously, that's going to be a problem, it appears. How long did y'all live together with the dog?
We've been together. We was at West Alabama with my dog living together. That was 3 years ago. We came to Dallas, and we've been living with my dog. We've been living together with my dog. Anytime that we've been living together, my dog's been there.
Your dog hasn't always.
I need you to just wait until I ask you the questions, please, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, how old is the baby? And for the last 2 years, have y'all lived together with the dog and the baby? Is that correct?
Yes.
Ms. Moore, is that correct?
The dog hasn't lived there for 2 years.
How long has the dog been there?
So the dog was here about a couple of weeks because the dog typically lives at his mother's and father's house.
No, he didn't.
All right, so I'm assuming that
The
you would
dog,
prefer that the dog not be at your house. Is that correct, when y'all were living together?
Correct.
And Mr. Miles, you knew she was afraid of the dog. Is that correct?
I did. But she's been around my dog before. So when we was at
Obviously, she's not very comfortable with your dog, sir.
No, I know that, but she's been around my dog before. So I mean, like I said, she's been around my dog before. But she's not. Yeah, I know that she doesn't like dogs, and like I said, I didn't do that intentionally. Like I said, I could have.
I'm assuming that you did not intentionally have your dog harm Miss Moore. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. But the problem becomes if the dog. It's a question of who should be there. Should the dog be there, or should Miss Moore be there? That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree that Miss Moore should be there. I mean, if my dog has to be somewhere else, that's perfectly fine.
All right, because I've got to make a decision as to whether or not she should be the sole managing conservator or whether y'all should be joint managing conservators. And the truth of the matter is, I can't see any reason why you can't be joint managing conservators. It appears that you're working together now, her keeping the child in the nights and you keeping the child during her work period. Sounds like y'all working together to do what's best for the child. So I'm going to find y'all to be joint managing conservators, and that I'm going to find that the visitation schedule should be a standard visitation schedule. Now, what that means is this, that the two of you can do whatever you wish to do as it relates to visitation ever. In the event that the two of you cannot agree, then it'll revert to first, third, and fifth weekends. You understand that?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Now, as it relates to the cash medical, Mr. Miles, if you have insurance on your job and you want to put the child in that insurance, you have the right to do so. You understand?
Yes.
Once you do that, then this $135 will go away. You tell the AAGs that you have the insurance and you put it in place and everything, and it's reasonable insurance. Then they'll stop that $135 deduction. You understand?
Okay.
But until you do that, you'll pay that $135 each month. You understand? You say you don't agree to pay the child support of $457 per month. Why not?
Because I take care of my child and I do everything for him.
But he's not living with you. You've moved out.
Yes, I had a but it wasn't my choice to move out. My mom made me move out because of the incident. Like I can go back to my grandmother's house and live with Jazz if I want to. Like it's not that was my mom's choice for making me come back to live with her.
Well,
So
until you and Miss Moore are living together again, you're gonna pay child support of $457 per month, beginning on what is this? This is November. Yeah, December the 1st, and payable on each month thereafter. You understand?
okay. So
Okay.
when I move back in, who do I tell that to?
Yeah, if you move back in, then you need to go back to the Attorney General's office and they can file a motion to modify. But you'll have an obligation to pay child support until that child
Okay.
support is changed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to make a finding of family violence. I'm assuming that the dog attack was a mistake and that it will not be repeated. Miss Moore, you're not the only person who's afraid of dogs. There are a lot of people who are afraid of dogs. And in order for the two of you to live together, obviously that dog can't live there. And I'm assuming that you and the child will have more influence than the dog. Now, Mr. Tatum,
Yes,
I
Your
need
Honor.
an order to that effect.
Yes, Your Honor.
He's going to email both of you a copy of this order. And if you have no additional questions, you can press leave and you're free to go. Thank you both.
We need spousal support. The spousal support that was awarded previously was inequitable and unfair to defendant, and she is essentially barely getting by having to dip into whatever property award that she was given. It's clear that plaintiff is utilizing his superior financial condition and more extensive resources